everybody, welcome to another edition of Toddster's Magical Mystery Review. I'm your host Toddster, and today we're going to take a look at Paul McCartney and Wings' Venus and Mars. Yes, came out 27th of May 1975 on Capitol Records. Yes, this is his first non-Apple release. So what was Paul's other band up to by this point? Well, after the big, huge success of Band on the Run, he sort of put the group back together again, so to speak. So he brought in Jimmy McCulloch on lead guitar from Thunderclap Newman, Something in the Air. Remember that? And he also brought in a guy named Jeff Britton as the drummer, and then they put out the single Junior's Farm late in '74. But yet that lineup didn't really last very long, and so when Jeff Britton left the band and was replaced by an American named Joe English. When it came to making this album, Paul and the gang decided to move over to New Orleans to make the album, and and what came out was a very fine album. So let's get into the songs. So we start off with the title song, Venus and Mars, and a very mellow acoustic beginning, which can be the lyrics can be related to either a groupie or an astrologer. Good friend of mine follows the stars. Venus and Mars are alright tonight. And then it segues into rock show. Yes, in a much more hard rocking bit. And it mentions all sorts of things. Jimmy Page, Madison Square Garden, Hollywood Bowl, etc. And also Alan Toussaint, if you may remember, back in Ringo's Goodnight Vienna. He plays piano on this track, and this little medley is a pretty good opening number, and the lyrics also mentions I think probably around this time Paul was apart from as well as his tea, he was also probably mentions a little stint with some sugar as well. Tension bounce, you score an ounce, okay. Temperatures rise as you see the whites in their eyes, But and then we go into Love in Song. This is a very haunting and beautiful ballad, and so deals with heartbreak. My heart cries out for love and all, and obsession. My You're So Fine, When Love Is Mine. Wonderful 12-string playing from Paul. And it's a pretty good song. I like this one. And then we go into You Gave Me the Answer. This is another music hall-esque which Paul wrote, sort of reminiscent of When I'm 64 and Honey Pie, and yet Paul sings through like a little filter, make it sound like he's singing through a megaphone, sort of like Winchester Cathedral. Remember that song? Winchester Cathedral. It's an okay tune. Then we go into Magneto and Titanium Man. Yes, this is like Paul had a bit of obsession with the Marvel comic books around that time, and so that's what led him writing this song. And it's a surprisingly awesome highlight. And then we go into Letting Go, sort of like a bluesy, funky tune with loads of brass brought in. And I was even lucky to see Paul play this song live at one of his shows. So that's the first side. So we flip the record over, side 2, and we go into the reprise of Venus and Mars. And while the main track while we're at the sports arena in the main track, waiting for the show to begin, the reprise takes us to the cathedral, waiting for the spaceship to come. And yeah, more spacey than the main track. Then we go into Spirits of Ancient Egypt. Yes, this is sung by Denny Lane, and yeah, another great highlight on the album. And then we go from Denny Lane to Jimmy McCulloch on the next song, Medicine Jar, which he also wrote. And it's about the dangers of the drug abuse and all that, which McCulloch would unfortunately succumb to later in his life. But yeah, so then we go into Call Me Back Again. Yeah, very, very soulful ballad, which I think Paul does his best to my ears, does his best like Otis Redding vocal, and sort of reminiscent of Oh Darling. Yeah. Then we go into the hit single, Listen to What the Man Said. And it features Tom Scott, if you may remember, from the Dark Horse album, George, on the soprano sax. Yeah, it's a great tune, great melody, but I have a little problem with it, and that's, when the backing vocals come in, it sort of, drowns out the backing, a little bit louder than it's supposed to be. But yeah, but other than that, great song. Then we go into another little medley, Treat Her Gently and Lonely Old People. Yeah. Well, Paul does, he had these two songs, and so combined them into one, sort of like, Abbey Road type medley. Yeah, effort's okay. And then we end the album with the Crossroads theme. Now, in case you're not familiar with Crossroads, it was a long-running soap opera in England, set like in a motel. So like, as General Hospital is set in a hospital, this one's set in a motel. But yeah, and Paul did a version of this, and which was later used as the show's theme in the late 70s. So yeah, so then we go. Let's go into the bonus songs. So we go with Zoo Gang. This was released as a B-side to the Band on the Run single. I'm not sure why it's on the Venus and Mars reissue, but anyway, yeah, it's just like in Crossroads, this was used as a theme tune of a short-lived TV show. But yeah, it's one of the few instrumentals that I enjoy. Then we go into Lunchbox Odd Socks. Another instrumental, yet it came out as a B-side to the Coming Up single, like 5 years later. And yeah, it's another instrumental I enjoy. Probably the synthesizer that that really gets me interested. And then there's another B-side, My Carnival, which was the B-side for the Spies Like Us single. 10 years later. Yeah, it's an okay tune, but much better than the A-side to my ears. But yeah, so that's the album. So what to say? Well, as I said, it's a surprisingly great album. Yeah, very strong material in here, but yet it seems to be overlooked, compared to the last album. But yeah, go check it out if you can. So as far as ranking, I'm gonna give this 4 poles out of 5. 4 poles for Venus and Mars by Paul McCartney and Wings. So yeah, so my name is Toddster, and you just watched another Magical Mystery Review, and we'll see you next time. Till then, toodaloo.